Now we're recording. Hold on. Hey, Brandy.
Hey. Welcome to The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled. With your hosts, Tim Schaus of TLS Entertainment and Brandy Harlan, a local wedding planner, bringing you tips, tricks, and ideas to help plan your wedding day. This is The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled.
Hello.
Hi. What episode is this?
38.
38?
I think
That's
so.
Great.
And we are towards the end of 2023. This is The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled. Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier wedding DJ, with the wonderful, beautiful Brandy Harlan of the non-retired wedding planning committee.
Yeah, I am it. I am her.
That's you.
Committee of one.
Committee of one.
Well, two. Jen.
Oh, Jen, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Your
she just
bestie.
doesn't know she's in the committee yet.
And it's been a few weeks since we've been on. It's been busy.
Yeah.
It's been the holidays. I've been sick. A lot of people have been sick.
It's the cough that doesn't go away.
Yeah. And crazy thing, I actually had a wedding on my birthday, and I woke up at December 17th, 3:30 in the morning, woke up, shivers, body aches,
All the things.
fever, and I was like, shit, this is not good because I have a wedding today on my birthday, which great, not great planning, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And when you own your own business, it's like you're SOL.
Yeah.
And on the day
Suck it
of,
up,
I mean,
Chuck.
yeah, I have a team of DJs, but on a day of wedding, it's not like I can be like, hey, buddy, can you?
Especially when it's the season and everybody's already booked.
Yeah. Well, luckily it was a Sunday.
Okay, that's good.
However, it's a Sunday during the holidays,
They don't
and
wanna
it's the
do
day
it.
of, and like you can't just call somebody and be like, hey, can you? I mean, ideally, yes. I didn't really ask too many people. I asked a couple of my guys, but they were already busy, and
And the expectation is that you would be there.
Oh, I would be
Yeah.
there, and I was going to still MC, but the actual DJing part, I was just going to let them do.
Mm-hmm.
And I had everything set up. I was like, listen, everything's already set up. I went in the morning with one of my assistants. He helped me, set everything up. We were done setting up by noon, and the wedding was from 3 p.m. Started at 3 ceremony, ended at 11.
What?
Yes.
Why?
I don't
Was it
know.
a Catholic
No.
ceremony? Okay.
Nope.
I mean, do
But-
you, boo?
Yeah,
That's a long day.
They were very, very like Christian based family.
Okay. I'm just going to put it out there. In my experience, those end sooner rather than later.
Right, especially on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday. The crazy. Well, I mean, it was overall it was good. I mean,
You rallied?
I rallied, and it was so cute. Kelsey was there because we had the photo booth, we had Cold Sparks, we had all of the things. Kelsey was helping with the photo booth and then like taking videos and doing content for me. And Lakewood Ranch Country Club, let me just tell you, they are absolutely awesome.
They are.
They knew it was my birthday. The team from Lakewood Ranch had a birthday card for me, which was super
Aw.
cute. So shout out to Amy and Haley over there. Thank you guys and the entire team over at Lakewood Ranch Country Club. They had a birthday card for me, and then Kelsey went over and she made best friends with all of Lakewood Ranch and their country and all of them
Ahead of time?
just throughout the night.
Oh, yeah.
And they had, they had the cake cutting and everything. They took the cake back and they were cutting it. And so she grabbed one of the slices of the cake, asked if they had candles, put some candles and had it delivered to me. And she sang happy birthday during like the party while we were dancing and I was DJing and everything. Orlando was the videographer.
Yeah.
And so he got it on video.
That's cute.
It was super cute. And she sang happy birthday to me. And I'm just sitting there like, and she's just looking
you
at
don't
me
even
like
the attention.
well, no,
You
yeah.
do, but you don't.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's
and
not
so
my day.
she's just looking at me with like this big smile, like, here, it's your birthday. And so I blew out the
cute.
candle. Yeah, it was really cool.
I know our birthdays are about like 34 days apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. You're Wait.
Sagittarius, yeah.
Oh.
Yep, December 17th.
Yep.
So that was actually the last wedding I did, which was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So you've had some time off.
I've had some time off. So yeah, but luckily, so I rallied. I was feeling like dog shit. Not good. Yeah. And luckily, the bride, actually, she's like, hey, can I borrow the mic for a second? I'm like, girl, it's your day. Here you go. And so she had me.
Here's a clean one.
Right. Yeah, I have multiple. I was like, here, take this one. And so it was like around 9:30. Mm-hmm. And Orlando and I were like, is this going to end anytime soon?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guests had left, but there were still some guests that were like, staying strong.
Yeah. There's always a few.
And so the bride gets on the mic and she's like, hi, everybody. I just want to thank everybody for coming. I'm like, oh, is this like a thank you ending type deal? Like we're going to end an hour and a half early?
Yeah.
And she said, just so you know, like you're not going to hurt my feelings if you leave. Because honestly, I'm exhausted. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying.
Say it without saying it.
She said, honestly, I'm not going anywhere, but I just won't be on the dance floor as long or as much because I'm really tired. And the groom comes over. He's like, yeah, we're exhausted. And so at that point, I started playing some slow music. I was like, ooh, this is my opportunity to
weed everybody else
get them
out.
the hell out of here. And I did play a few more songs, and but they said, you know what, we're going to end at 10.
Nice.
And so I'm like, thank God. I was done an hour early.
Yeah.
Because then I had to go to, well, actually, I was supposed to go to work the next day. It was a Sunday.
Oh,
so for those who don't know, I also have another job. Like I have a second full-time job.
He has like, a degree and shit. So
Well,
he has like work to do.
So I work for the local news station here in Sarasota, which is actually where we do the podcast, which is really cool. Thanks, ABC7.
Yes. Check the logo behind Brandy.
Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah. There you go. But I was out sick the entire week.
The whole week?
The whole week.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize you were sick the whole week.
Yeah. And other unfortunate things happened that it was just a
really bad week.
Really, really bad week. And then it led into Christmas. And then here we are.
Here we are.
So,
podcasting.
But we're doing better mentally and physically. And we're getting ready for 2024, which is going to lead us into our topic of discussion for the day.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about what's in and what's out.
What's out?
For 2024.
Get out.
So we did this last year coming into 2023.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to stay and keep in 2022. And I feel like a lot of the things that we wanted to keep in 22, it stayed in 22, which is nice. Mm-hmm. And now there are
like wood and lace. And...
Well, as far as decor, yes. And flowers, unfortunately, are still here. I'm kidding.
Flowers will never go away, Tim.
I know.
Just it's not gonna.
They just don't need as much of it.
Well,
you don't need to spend $20,000-$30,000 on florals.
Well,
put that towards a good entertainment company.
When we talk about what's in, you ain't gonna be happy.
I know. All right, but we're going to talk first on what's out, what we're going to leave in 2023, and what's out in 2024. So leave this shit in 2023, okay?
Yeah.
And what we're seeing less and less of are sweetheart tables.
Now, I wonder, because this is from Vogue, I'm wondering... it says they're choosing communal dining experiences over an isolated table for two. So I will say that I highly suggest that couples have an intimate moment, like after photos are even done before a reception starts, or even after introductions and first dances, the two of you just have some quiet time.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe you eat together, like by yourself somewhere.
Have your own like little appetizer station.
Like somewhere else, right? So it's quiet and you're just like, okay. It's almost like getting a second wind. Mm-hmm. And then you can kind of go around and visit everyone while they're eating. Yeah. And you've already done so. So I do encourage that. Communal dining, I do love that. Like, Yeah,
I mean, I do, like especially like this weekend, actually these upcoming weekends, we have... or I've seen floor plans.
Yes.
With the sweetheart, not the sweetheart table, but it's actually like a U-shaped table.
Like the whole, all
Probably-
the seating is in a U shape?
Well, it must be just like the bridal party and them. But I have seen the bride and groom or the couple sitting with family or friends.
Yeah. I
which has
like
been
that.
cool.
I've kind of not always, I've kind of given the advice that when you decide that you're doing a bridal party or, your groomsmen, bridesmaids, whatever, together, that it just be them and not a significant other, because that significant other may not be like around in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because it could be just somebody that they're dating and they just started dating.
Yeah.
So I actually prefer that everybody sit at their own tables and not do a whole entire like separated, because honestly they're going to eat really quick and then they're never going to be there, and it's a waste of space. It's a waste of linens, decor, all the things that go into
Flowers.
a person sitting at the table. Yes, flowers. And it's wasted because they're not spending time there. So it's actually better for your budget too to put them at regular tables, and then you be at maybe the table with like both sides of the parents and siblings, and it's just be like a family table that you two are at as well, but give yourself maybe special chairs at that table.
Well, and Vogue is saying that you get to spend the rest of your life eating with your spouse, so this is the only one and only time all your friends and family they're here to celebrate you, so why not sit with them or dine with them? So
I like that.
Another thing that is on the way out, and honestly, I haven't really seen, I guess I don't really know much about this being on the entertainment side, but farewell brunches like the day after. I've seen
we don't
this.
see them much in the South in Florida. I think it's a northern thing from when I've attended weddings and done them in the North. I'm from originally Ohio. So Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, they do like a farewell brunch the next day. And it's more popular in the north than it is in the south.
Now, I will say a few weddings that I've attended as a guest, for friends, before I really took off with my entertainment company, I will say that there was like,
hey, we're all meeting for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna do a
but it's not,
brunch,
like, super
but it was
planned.
like one. It was like a good friend of mine. His name is Stefan. He, when he got married, I was one of his groomsmen, and I do remember, like his family saying, "Hey, we're having a brunch at the house."
Yeah.
The following day,
and
the
usually
following
it's
morning.
the groom's family that would host that. Yes, because they host the rehearsal dinner, and then also the farewell brunch if there is one, and then the other portion is handled by the other.
But again, when I've talked to couples, that never even comes up because that's not my. I don't know. I guess maybe on the planning side.
On the planning side, you hear about it sometimes. It's a good effort, but it also is unpredictable because you don't really know how the night's going to go. You don't know how tipsy you might get.
How crazy
it
might be.
It might be. So
you might need like
there
a little
might be
hangover
some
day.
well-intention to make it to brunch the next day.
But you probably ain't going
planned.
to. If you have a fantastic
You
night.
may not.
Yeah, if you have a fantastic night and it's just a banger of a party,
You're not making
you ain't
it to
nobody
brunch.
making it.
So I would call it dinner and make it around like 2:00 when you have to check out of your hotel or whatever else and not go anywhere.
Nope.
Yeah, but you're gonna want to sleep again. So, I think that's all dependent on also the type of party you're throwing the night before.
Something else that's on its way out: large bridal parties.
I see that a lot. It's I think people are really putting a lot of real estate and effort into their close friends and really cherishing those relationships.
There are some. Now, when you say large bridal parties, what does that mean? Like five,
like 5 to 7,
five
5
plus
and up
on either
is what
side.
I would think is large.
Like on either side.
Yeah.
So I would say like average is between 3 and 5. That's average. Now, large bridal parties on the way out. I don't know if it's on the way out. What I do see happening is introductions where we are introducing each individual, like, Sally escorted by Sam, from each side. What I'm seeing is, hey, please welcome your entire bridal party at one time.
Yep.
They all come out. And it could be a very large bridal party or it could be just a few.
Yeah. And there's a lot that goes into being a bridesmaid. I was one in October and I was also the planner. It was fairly easy. It was only 4 of us.
Yeah.
So it was low key. We did a smaller bachelorette party weekend for 4 days in Savannah. So I think also when you've got a larger party, there's a lot to have to navigate as far as logistics for scheduling, for dresses and things of that nature. So it's more pressure on the, whoever their person is that they're the bridesmaid or groomsmen or, bridesmen or whatever, you're choosing to call them. It's more pressure on them to figure out all of those details. You don't need that extra on top of planning the wedding. So have a planner that can help diffuse a lot of those things. And yes, your planner can plan a bachelorette party, a bachelorette outing. I've planned them. I've done scavenger hunts for the whole entire week on Anna Maria.
Is that an additional cost?
Yeah, but it's worth the headache, especially if you have so many in your bridal party, and maybe you have a couple matrons and a couple maids of honor, and it might be a little bit of a power struggle.
Yeah.
And maybe nobody is really good at planning.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So you've got really great support system, but they're good at having a party, but they're not good at planning and executing that party.
Yeah.
And it takes the ownness off of them for being responsible to make sure that it's perfect. Yeah. Because maybe that's a lot of pressure for them. So there's a few different perks to doing it that way, I think.
Yeah, I just don't know if large bridal parties are out in general.
I don't know that they're completely out. I think they're just being
more intentional.
Intentional, and things cost so much more now.
Yeah.
So,
but again, like I said before, with introductions, what I'm seeing with the large bridal parties is that they are just not doing the individual introductions. They're just saying, "Hey, this is everybody."
Yeah, here they are. Here they are. You already saw them walk down the aisle.
Exactly.
I'm going to touch base on the one above that because I have a strict rule when planning weddings.
Bows
have peaked. They're a classic for a reason. Okay. Jen and I will not do bows, and we don't do tulle. Because we started planning weddings on the island, on the beach, and people would want all this tulle wrapped around their arches. You can't see tulle on a beach. You can't see tulle really kind of anywhere. And bows are just, I feel like they're immature. I'm just going to call them immature decor because
so 80s and 90s.
It is. I feel like we should be having, poofy sleeves on our dresses and things when we're tying bows. So Jen and I came up with
that's going to be
a
coming
new
back.
bow.
That's going to be coming back.
We're not.
I'm telling you.
Only for one event, and that's your anniversary. I might bring out some big bows on my shoulders.
Well, no.
No. Okay, don't do that. He's like, don't bring it. So Jen and I, we do a what we call is like a we do a what looks like a bow, but it's it doesn't. We tie a knot and then we bring the flap over. So think of when you're tying something on the back of a chair, so a sash. We just don't tie the bow parts, like the side pieces, the rabbit ears when you're teaching a kid to tie bows. We just tie the knot and we bring the other flap over to cover the knot. And we call it it's like a suit tie kind of look. And it just looks really polished and really good. So it is literally in our planning contracts. We won't tie bows and we don't do
what planning contracts? You're
the ones we used to use that
retired.
we'll use at some point sometime soon.
We're trying to get you out of retirement.
Hey, I sent you all my stuff.
Yes, you
did. Get me.
It's been.
Let's do some weddings.
Let's do it.
But yeah, I won't do bows. They've been out a long time, not just this year. They've been out for 10 for me.
Yep.
I don't do bows.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Cake cutting, not a thing. Not really.
Not an announced thing. I think it's just more of a private thing, but you will have those old school gramps and grandmas that want, why didn't they cut the cake? When are they cutting the cake? Oh,
you know what? It's not about them.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I don't give a shit about grandma and grandpa.
They're used to seeing it. So you just kind of have to have a lot of communication that it was done privately or not announced.
Yeah.
Or if you know it's important to them and you're not announcing it to everyone, then mom should go tell grandma and grandpa, hey, they're cutting the cake privately. We're not announcing it. But if you want to come over and take photos of your grandchild, they can do it that way.
Yeah, the traditional cake cuttings are kind of to the wayside, and I've been seeing that.
And nobody knows how to do it properly. Just saying.
Okay.
It's not. It's a hard thing, and it's pressure.
Fair. But yeah, traditional cake cuttings are kind of gone. And honestly, cake in general, like the big cakes in general, are kind of gone because we have dessert stations, which you have more of a variety.
Yeah.
And you can still like, and this isn't saying like cake in general is out. It's just they're coming in different forms.
The tiered
like,
exactly.
The tiered cakes are gone.
The tiered cake is not as prevalent, whereas
that's just like a statement piece. That's all it is.
Yeah, and there's so many cakes that will show up and they're fake, and you're cutting cake in the background. But also, what's really popular is not just the dessert bar, but also doing something at the dessert bar, whether you're making a s'more or you're making an ice cream sundae. So it's like maker stations more than anything. It's more
donut
interactive.
Walls.
And you put some toppings on it. So, or it's a coffee station where you're also going up and ordering like a latte to go with your dessert.
Gelato station.
Exactly. So it's really more interactive and has more of a actual do function to it than just going to get cake. Now, I will say there's one cake that I will always eat no matter what. If that's who makes the cake, and that is Tara from Sweets Bakehouse, I will elbow some people for some cake from her place. But she also does like amazing cinnamon rolls that we get every Thanksgiving and Christmas from her. So she has, she does mini cakes, and she does shooters and desserts and cookies. So she can do a whole entire dessert bar. I like to think of it like, what's your favorite dessert when you were like a kid? Like, what was your go-to? And what do you enjoy now? Like, if you were out at a restaurant, what does that look like? Then make that your dessert bar. Yeah. You don't have to have a cake.
Yeah. So yeah, cake cutting is out.
Yeah.
Cake or dessert stations are in. Another thing that they're saying is out are formal departures. And I don't know that I agree with that because, they're saying that instead of doing a formal departure, they're just going straight to the after party, wherever that may be. And I feel like, no, they're doing a formal departure, or, they're doing like a spark. They're doing like a sparkler exit or like a light exit, and then from there, like, all right, now to the to the after party.
But I if I never have to light another sparkler in my life,
well,
I don't think sparklers should go into 2024. Can we add that to the list? But
sparkler exits?
Yes, I hate them.
Well, you hate them, but do they show up? Are they like good photo ops or video ops?
But they're so overdone that they're
overdone
new.
Because you see it every single weekend.
Everybody sees it at every wedding that they go to.
But a lot of people who go to weddings, it's their first wedding.
No,
you got to remember that.
All their guests, it's not their first wedding, and they just went to like probably 5 others this year. And photographers are tired of it, so there's no way to really rework the sparkler send off. Except,
how many weddings have you been to as a guest?
Except, like a lot.
This year.
This year 2.
That's probably an average.
So, but there's an exception to doing sparklers. If you add in long glow sticks with the sparklers, it creates a whole entire leveled up experience because you've got the sparkles going off and you've got the glow stick color going, and a photographer can really do something really cool with that. That's just my 2 cents. I've just planned like 600 weddings, and 599 of them have had sparklers.
Yes, you as a planner and as a wedding professional are sick of it. However, guests going to a wedding, majority of guests going to a wedding is probably the one wedding that they're going to that year.
Clouds, or let's do something. Let's dry eyes. Let's do something creative.
I've been to,
bubbles.
Hundreds of weddings the past few years. However, as a guest, I've been to maybe 2 in the past 5 years.
And they did sparklers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we are guests, or we are professionals in this industry, and so we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Just like we did a whole thing on wedding songs. And you're like 1,000 Years, Never Want to Hear It Again by Christina Perry.
So awful.
I love that song.
I know you do.
And I hear it all the time.
I know.
But again,
I still don't know why you still love it.
You are sick of it because you hear it all the time because you are at weddings all the time, or you used to be.
Yeah.
However, guests aren't always at weddings.
I get it. I just think that there's so much amazing music out there that people can really like. And I'm a music person. Like it's my soul. So for me, I know that people can do better. Like just do better.
I don't think,
But not everybody's a music person for like I am.
I don't know about doing better because
there
like
is.
no.
Okay.
I feel like those, there are certain songs that are like perfect for situations, and if there are other new songs that you hear, like okay, that you can do better for you.
That's what I'm saying. Like my love of music is not what everybody else has. You know, so
right.
their love of music is a different level than mine. So I have to give them that space. But as far as a formal departure, back to that, you have to let your guests know that like crap's ending. Like you can't just be like, wait, where'd they go? Oh, they left. They're over at the after party. We're done.
Well, I would
Like,
hope
how
that
do you-
the DJ or the entertainment company would be like, "Hey, we're coming up to the end of the night. This is gonna be our last song of the day of the night."
True.
with
but
your
couple's
couple.
gone.
No, the couple should still be there.
I mean, it says many couples are opting to continue the celebration after. I don't know that this
after-
is called a formal departure. This really shouldn't
No, it's
be
just
called
ending. No, it's they're saying that formal departures, like exits, like that,
Yes.
are going to the wayside.
like the night's not ending.
The night, right?
Yeah. They should
However,
just say after parties are in.
no, I hear you.
Yeah.
But they're saying like formal departures, like going off in like a car or
Oh.
getting everybody outside and saying,
Yeah.
"Okay, bye."
Yeah, and don't do fake ones either.
Don't do
people.
fake ones.
Don't do
That
fake
we
ones.
left that in like
Way
20.
to ruin your night.
Jeez. But no, the formal departures is just that like a sparkler exit.
Yeah.
Or leaving in a vehicle and saying, "Okay, peace out, homies. We're gone."
Yeah.
That's
Never to be seen again until
right.
possibly
We're still
the brunch
ending
tomorrow.
We're still ending the night, with the last dance and like, all right, that's it.
Now follow us to the
Now
after party.
now the after party.
Exactly. And I would also communicate that there's an after party on invitations and things like that so that everyone knows that that's the expectation. So you're not, especially if you're renting a space or going to a restaurant and you've like rented that space out, then you want to make sure you communicate it. So hopefully people kind of like, take their, like they're slow and steady to the
Yeah. Can I tell you,
after party.
I did an after party for a wedding a couple weeks ago. And it was literally, they had a band. It was out at Longboat Key Resort at the Harborside Room. They were out in the lawn. That's where the wedding was, and the reception. They had a band. They were awesome. And it was too funny. It was literally 1 hour after party from 10 to 11.
Okay.
1 hour. And so I set up earlier in the day. I had a holiday party during the day. I set up my second setup there earlier. So I literally went for my holiday party, packed up, ran over, and went over to the Harborside Ballroom. And so I was already set up, ready to go. And it was from 10 to 11. The reception ended at 10. And then the band was like, all right, you guys head into the ballroom for an after party and they were partying hard.
That's good that it's so close
They
to
just
where
walked
they
in.
were. And it's that last hour that you would normally be having a reception anyway.
yeah.
It's almost like the go hard time.
And they did.
Yeah.
They were going hard all night. They were not from there. I think they were all from New York or Jersey or something.
Yes, fist pumps.
And the crazy thing is, like, I'm like, all right, so this band is playing all these bangers right now. And I was like, it's a band, so they can only play like so many songs or certain songs.
Yeah.
And then like they did take a break for a minute, and they had songs playing, and they were dancing to them. And so like here I am, I'm like, all right, here's like, you have 1 hour to make a statement as a DJ.
How many songs can you fit in and not replay?
But
what
it's
was
like
just played?
usually it's like, all right, here I got to get them like warmed up.
Yeah.
But they're warm.
Yeah, they're
At
ready.
this point, they're ready to go. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start with this song. And then all of a sudden I hear the band play. I'm like, shit. Now I'm going to start with this song.
Cross that off the
Yep.
list.
And then I'm like, then the band played. I'm like, damn it. So
Good
I was
thing
like,
you were there to hear like
yeah.
some of the music that the band was playing because they're gonna be like, we just heard this.
well, and so I ended up just starting off with like some
Timmy trumpet.
some hardcore like hip hop
Okay.
from the 2000s.
Oh,
Like,
what was that?
What was I playing? Ice Cream Paint Job.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Lollipop.
Rolling like a big dog.
Yeah. Like, and as they were coming in, they heard it.
gotta
They're
go
like,
ahead.
oh man.
Because you step
They were-
into it.
they were getting it.
Like that song, you walk in stepping like,
Yeah, then I was playing like Snap
Okay.
Your Finger.
Oh, yeah.
Snap Your Fingers by Lil Jon. What else was I mean, so many, like a lot of hip hop.
and the band can't really pull.
No, and I went from Hotline Bling, with Drake.
Drake, yeah.
And ever since I you, and then I went at that you part. I transferred into
Soulja Boy.
transitioned into you. Crank that.
Yes.
And they all went insane on that transition.
that.
That was so cool. But yeah, like I had 1 hour to get really had like 5 to 10 minutes to get their attention.
Yeah.
And
then just keep
they
it going.
destroyed that ballroom.
Oh my God.
They were throwing beers and wine, just going hard. I felt like the best DJ in the freaking world that night. Granted, they had.
Shout out to the bartenders
Hell
too
yeah.
that helped that.
It was awesome.
That is good.
And I wanted to get
love
video,
that.
but I didn't have. And Orlando was there. But he didn't get the after party.
I'll
Alyssa
just
Sue.
have to start coming to your.
Alyssa
doing
Sue was the photographer that night.
Oh, maybe she caught some.
They
Oh,
all
everybody
left.
left.
Yeah.
No.
Got 0. They were.
You should text the couple and say, "So, do you have any video from that
man.
night?" I'm sure you do. Somebody sent you something.
It was insane.
Can
That
we get
was
some love.
That was. I don't know how we got into after. Oh, it was an after party.
After party, yeah. I have never attended an after party for a wedding, but I attended one for a networking event, and it was a Christmas party for NACE. We were at the Vinoy in St. Pete. DJ Corey was when he was still with
Yeah,
Grant
you told me
Hammond.
about that. We talked about it.
Until like 2:30
Yeah.
in the morning, and they had to kick us out of like the basement area of the Vinoy. They were like, "Yeah, y'all broke some stuff. You gotta go."
I was afraid that they were gonna break.
Never been more happy at an after party.
Yeah.
It just after parties are so good.
I felt like I was on cloud 9, like I was the best DJ ever.
Yeah.
That night.
So
I
do
could've-
more after parties, people.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I had such a blast.
Yeah, I could see myself doing an after party because again, I love music, but
Yeah.
I love people too. So if it's like 10, 15 of us, we're going to go hard for another couple
luckily,
of
there
hour
was-
and a half.
There was probably still about like 60 guests
Oh, nice.
that were there, and they were all young.
Nice.
And
An hour to an hour and a half seems to be like, that would be perfect. Like a good hour
they
of
were not ready to
just
go. I will say that.
hour and a half, yeah.
They were not, and I think they even
That's
went
good.
out after that.
Probably.
But they were so drunk. Anyway, all right. So after parties are in. The last thing that we're going to talk about that's out, or one of the last things, is matching bridesmaids' dresses.
Yes.
And honestly,
This is so good.
I haven't really seen matching bridesmaid dresses in a while. So
Nope. Even in the
it's
wedding
gone.
I was in.
colors, like shades of the same
yeah.
colors.
Shades and tones,
Yes.
like in different directionality. So the wedding I was in October, we were just told to wear black, but none of our dresses matched.
Right.
And the maid of honor actually had like some purple within her the bottom of her dress. And so I really like that colors are. I have also seen a lot of white and cream and ivory being worn with the bride. So bride's wearing a white dress or whatever. It's like champagne and ivory and cream. It's like all these tonals and shades of the same color. And it really is dynamic. Or it's, dark red to burgundy so it's everybody's not wearing the same shade either.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that if you are requesting, your bridal party who are wearing dresses to wear a certain dress, that you get them, that you allow them to wear something that makes them feel comfortable and that they feel confident in as well, and they feel beautiful. I know it's not always about them, but them feeling that you care about, and being body image, positive for them so they feel comfortable, and then they can let loose and they can walk down the aisle with confidence and being the photos and things and look back and say, yeah, I really liked that. I think that's important too, but no matchy, please.
No more.
I
And-
feel like that goes along with the whole, bows.
Yeah.
Bows and matchy dresses. Like, it's just, all I can visualize is like periwinkle or purple, like a light purple, and all the bridesmaids lined up. Now, don't 27 dress it either.
Right.
Don't make it so outrageous that everybody is so all over the place, but kind of keep it the same fabric and the same, warm tone family,
Yeah.
if that's the case.
And to lead into the next one, which is actually going to be what's out, leading into what's in.
Yes.
The last thing that we're going to talk about, what's out, are color palettes. And
Yeah.
so this year, you had talked about, and I think like lavender, green, white,
For last year?
No, for 2023.
For 2023,
Those
yes.
were like the colors that were in.
Well, it was the color of the year was fuchsia.
Yeah.
And so you paired that with like your evergreen dark green,
Mustard.
I
remember that
your
one.
Teal, and you saw that a lot in florals. Like a lot of color was popping this 2023 year, and what's out is that, and what's in is the new Pantone color, which is peach. Well, they're calling it peach fuzz, and if you're on YouTube, you can kind of see. There's a picture of it.
Embrace the warmth. Yeah, they're saying, so Vogue is saying that in 2024, we'll be seeing more of a warm, hot colors like poppy red, sunset colors, which peach falls into that.
Yes.
And we've been in the zone of 50 shades of white with a splash of green for a little bit for this past year.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that, a lot of greenery this past year, which is out.
Yeah, there's a lot more color coming into 2024. It's either a lot more color or just black and white.
Yeah, I think we're not doing the in-between anymore. And I love talking colors and decor and things because my background is fashion design. And that's kind of how I got started in the industry a little bit with planning, was through fashion and doing fashion shows. But I really like the new peach fuzz that they're calling it as the new tone, because when I'm helping a couple do their wedding styling and figuring out their colors, I say, okay, you need to pick 2 colors. What colors do you decorate your house with? Like what do you wear a lot of? Because those are probably colors that you feel most comfortable in and you relate to. So look at your wardrobe, and if you wear a lot of different colors, then go with that and be colorful and do that. However, picking like a neutral, like a white, black, silver, gold is typically where I would send people. But I don't think that that's necessary now with this peach, because peach can be that neutral tone for you, or it can be your main tone, and then you pair other colors with it. I wouldn't suggest having to have like a white, black, silver, or gold as have to have. Usually, like, couple years ago, I'd say you need a base color, or lack thereof in some instances if it's black or white. But I wouldn't even have that conversation with styling weddings these days, because it's all about like, let's pick 3 or 4 colors and move in that direction. And how do you want to use them? What do you want your main color to be? And then, fall in line like your top 1, 2, 3, 4 colors and how they blend in together. And then a pro tip is I always send my couples to the paint store. And you pick out paint samples and put them in color combinations and look at them for a week, and then switch up the combinations, add in, take out, and then find what you really, really gravitate towards in a 4 color combination, and then go back to the paint store, pick up multiples of those colors that you're going to use, and you're able to hand those to your florist, your cake, your stationeer who's doing all of your stationery, your envelopes, things like that. Maybe even like the inside of your groomsmen's suit can be, some of those colors, or their ties, or they're doing like, the pocket squares. So you can have those colors to kind of keep everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I am all about the color, and I'm excited I'm planning a wedding for 2025, and we're using some of this.
So now we're into what's in. That's what's in for 2024. So we're going to talk about some things that are in coming into 2024, and then we're going to talk about some ideas. Yes. Some cool ideas to think about for 2024 and beyond. But we had talked about, again, what was out was cake cutting. What's in is dessert stations, to go wedding cakes to take home, slices and again, dessert stations, because again, everybody's dessert cravings are different. Yeah. And so if you have a variety, you kind of are able to, obviously you want it to showcase like the things that you enjoy, you as a couple.
Yeah, make it an experience.
But have an experience with it. Have a donut wall, or just have a variety of different
ice cream sandwich making.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
Yeah.
Cookies. Whatever it may be.
Cookies and milk. Like I had somebody do like little shooters of milk, and they had a stack of Oreos that like went with it. And it was like cookies and milk.
Yeah. You know what else we're seeing? And we saw this at Jonathan Pajak's wedding.
Yeah.
A digital guest book.
Yeah. I did see that. It was good.
Where you have a QR code.
Yep.
That works.
Yeah.
And you click on that QR code and you take photos throughout the entire night, and you upload it to this digital guest book, and the couple is able to have this, and they can see their wedding from your
point of view. Yeah.
the guest's point of view.
Yeah.
I think this is such a cool idea.
I do. The only thing I would say is that it limited me to 16 photos, and I took way more than that.
Well,
So-
right. Well, yeah, but
Well,
I
you
mean,
would wanna
you
make-
can upload like 100 photos and multiply that by 50
I know,
people.
it's so many. That's what I was just going to say. But when you don't have some kind of parameter, then it's a lot. So maybe make it like 25. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed taking photos and uploading.
Yeah, and with that, you can also include like videos. So if you can, with those digital guest books, you and your friends who are our guest at the wedding, you can take videos and say messages on those videos instead of like writing them down, which is kind of cool too to have like a written guest book. But
the other digital is the phone.
Oh yeah.
The recording is really in right now too. So it's an old school looking retro phone, and you do a voice recording as your guest book. And it's digital and it's saved.
I know of one company local here to Sarasota.
Yeah, like one or two that do it. Yeah. And I feel like it's like more and more are jumping on that. And I don't think it's too hard to accomplish on your own. I think there are like you can actually buy and rent it, and they ship everything to you, and then you send it back after you're done with. So you don't actually have to have somebody local. There's online companies that supply you with everything.
Yeah.
And then I really like using your new photo booth with like the GIF and things like that as the guest book as well, because it really is your new photo booth has multiple layers that I haven't seen in a lot of instances. So I love that, because then you can take that and use the hashtag or upload it or whatever else, because it's texted to you.
Yeah, with photo, and we'll go ahead. That's another like new trend idea thing. Photo booths have come a long way. There's a lot of different types of photo booths now. There's one photo booth that's like a mobile photo booth that goes around,
and it's got a ring around it.
It's just like a Ring iPad, to be honest with you. It's just the software for that you use. But you can go around and have. I mean,
It's like roaming. Almost.
It's like it's a roaming photo booth. But what's any different with that than a photographer?
Because you can add backgrounds and things like that too, and you catch more of like a party scene maybe.
True.
And
but with the photo booth that I have, you can do GIFs, you can do boomerangs, you can do like videos, you can do regular photos. They all have like the custom template. You can text them to yourself. You can add it to social media. You can email it. You can download it from a QR code.
Yep.
There's a lot of different, airdrop it. There's a lot of different ways to upload those photos now. Other photo booths, there's the 360 photo booth, which we're going to have a guest come on from Pose 360 in the next week or two. Really cool to see this one. This is a much different take on a photo booth.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different types of photo booths these days, and of course we still have. It's not really old, but our older version, which is just your typical 4x6 photo print. It prints on site, and a high res it's
a really good
DSLR photo from the camera. It's high res. It's really nice. So we still have that option as well. But being able to share it on to your phone and to social media right away, I mean, that's clutch.
Yeah.
Speaking of photos, the other thing that's in, a new thing that's in, is documentary style photography.
Yeah.
I really like this. I mean, and because we have so many content creators on social media, I think having these styled photos is amazing.
And I really think that it be more cinematic and like movie style
for video,
and then the photography just like that one. Remember I told you about I sent you the photos of them, like the photos of them progressively getting into the elevator and the elevator closing. It was just sexy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it is.
And it's all about how it's edited too.
So
like the style
good.
of
So good. I do love that.
What is it? Oh shoot, what was I gonna say? The other thing about photography and videography, in my mind, in my humble opinion, it's not right or it's not wrong. I think, and I actually talked to Orlando about this, and even some photographers. I think if you are hiring photo and video, hire photo earlier in the day. I mean, honestly, I think you should have video the entire day.
Absolutely.
to the end of the night.
Yep.
Photo, I think, would be good after sunset.
Photo.
I don't think you need them for the party because what you're going to get people just like dancing.
So,
it's like
and
it
you
doesn't
can
tell
take
a story
stills from video
Well, I mean,
if
you
you
can-
wanted to actually capture.
But I think that when it comes to the party, the story is being told through video.
Yeah.
That's where you can see the
It's just hard to provide that to somebody else and say, oh my gosh, look at this really awesome photo of you dancing and enjoying. I think that maybe, I agree. However, maybe photo should end 30 to 45 minutes into the dancing because everybody's
I don't even
warmed
think-
up and then they're done, because you do want some of that just pure joy photography. And this is coming from somebody who is 100%, you must at all times always have video for weddings. Like, it is a non-negotiable if I'm helping you plan your wedding that you have video because of many reasons. But I think just having some of those still photos is kind of fun to have. But that's
What are you gonna
maybe
do with
could
them?
take place.
What are you going to do with
I
them?
would send them to the people.
What are they going to do with them?
They
Like,
would
oh, wow, look at that. Delete.
no, no.
Trash.
But also, if that's the case, you can utilize the photo booth for that
Correct.
instead.
I agreed, yes.
So you can pivot and say that's where the part, like, because those photos, once everybody gets a little like
Yeah.
snickered,
Those are fun.
Then those photos come out and you're like, okay, now I have like that. So I see where that could happen, but I absolutely agree with video from first eye open, maybe like 30 minutes after opening
and
eyes.
the things that you
video
can do with
starts.
that to tell your story, to make it into like a movie trailer.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so good.
Some of the creativity these videographers have is insane.
It is.
Like Jonathan Pajak, he does such a great job. Orlando with Storybook Films,
Amazing.
amazing. Love his work.
Love View Weddings that used to, well, they still do weddings here in Sarasota, but they're based out of Atlanta now too.
Okay.
I've always loved their work. Ben Johnson, he was one of the first videographers that I came across that did the feels and the
cinematography.
That cinematic feel to video, and just really gut punched you with the emotion and the party all in one. So shout out to Love You Weddings. But yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. Moving along to
What's in?
What's in? I would say dress codes. Various types of dress codes. Over the top. I want to say that more and more, at least the weddings that I'm seeing or that I'm a part of, they are more formal. And what I've seen a lot lately, and I actually have a few coming up. I even had the couple ask me, "Hey, please just wear all black. It's formal. Wear a suit, just black suit, white shirt, whatever it is."
Yeah.
They're like,
And that's what Jonathan did for his wedding too.
Yeah.
He asked everyone to
honestly,
wear dark colors, no prints.
Some people just didn't get the memo.
They did not.
But I think
They
it's
were at my
such a
table.
statement to see everybody in all black, and like gowns, suits. It's just,
It's regal.
yeah,
It's sexy.
it is.
good.
And then,
Yeah.
I mean, I just love it. And I really think that,
agree.
that should definitely continue in 2024.
And I like how Vogue puts it, that it adds its sophisticated trend, injecting creativity and a tinge of rebellion into what typically would be defined as a traditional celebration. A tinge of rebellion. I like that.
Okay.
I do love how they phrased that. I want to talk about that first one.
Hold
the
on.
What's in? You got one?
Well, no, but I don't think that's in. I think that's just an idea. So we're going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Champagne Towers
Nice.
was that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that's I haven't seen a lot of it. I have seen them at some weddings. But I think that's really cool. Just a really cool idea.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I think that would be that's a great idea.
Champagne Towers.
I do. I'm trying to think, like, I have heard pros and cons. So from a bartender standpoint, I have heard that the bartender needs to give proper instruction on how to make it work the way that it should. And then we've also seen it in action where the bartender didn't give instruction and it didn't work as it should. And I've seen it where it just falls apart and shatters everywhere. And then it's like, great, that was a complete waste of the really expensive champagne. Or you pour 7 bottles and you haven't even gotten to the bottom layer yet. So I think there has to be some type of, almost like cake cuttings, like, instructions on that. You have to have some type of
We'll have to ask Jonathan because they did that at their wedding.
And it took like 7 bottles or 6 bottles, and they still didn't get the bottom filled with champagne. No, it was still, and at the end of the day, it's all for looks and photo, and it's not.
A lot of the things that we do.
Yeah. Guests aren't going up and getting a glass to drink off of the tower. That's not the functionality of it as I've seen it, because it's not a very super stable. You have to have certain glasses. You have to fill it a certain way. So although I think it's a lovely idea and it's wonderful, it just has to be executed in a certain way so that there are no crashes. and
well, that just makes it more fun. Mazel tov.
And there goes all the goods. But I think for photos and things, it comes out really looking good. Yeah.
Any other ideas that you can think of that's in, aside from what's on here, that we're going to talk about as far as like...
Are we talking about that one as an in or as an idea? I think it's more of an idea.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. Sustainability. I think that's definitely more in.
Like, what does that mean?
So coming from a nonprofit side, because the venue that I represent is the Retreat Sarasota, we have a nonprofit side to us. So all of our proceeds from our nonprofit, from the rental, goes towards the nonprofit Resilient Retreat, which provides programs for trauma survivors, first responders, and helping professionals. So there's something to be said about philanthropy and giving back and sustainability while having a good time and having a good party. And so I think people are a little bit more focused on that a little bit, less waste, not as much plastic. People aren't doing favors and things of that nature, so that they're saving on the economy and on the environment. But also people are doing like fresh dried florals as the throwing at the end of a ceremony, instead of maybe the faux petals that you therefore have to go and then pick up because they're not good for the environment. So I think just really looking into like things that are environmentally sound, using recyclables. I have a lot of clients that ask about recyclables or using real flatware and plates so that it's environmentally safe and a little bit better on our world. So supporting a nonprofit through what you are doing and having a wedding can also be part of that sustainability, because you have, say, a $10,000 wedding and those proceeds go back to supporting that nonprofit side. So like the museums have a lot of spaces. Like I came from the Bishop Museum, so Art Museum, Sarasota Art Museum has a rental space. There's a lot of nonprofits that have rental spaces. So all the funds can kind of go back into doing the good that they do. So I think sustainability should be really important to people.
There you go.
Yeah. So give back while doing the fun stuff.
While doing the good stuff.
So yeah.
So that's like what's in for 2024. Yeah. And again, I know I've mentioned it before. I don't know if we talked about it on the what's inside, but when it comes to, the entertainment side with DJs, I would say what's in, again, with your bridal parties, what's in is just announcing everybody at one time.
Yep.
Oops. Yeah. Everybody that's in introduce, whether you have a big, large bridal party or a small bridal party.
Yep.
Just saying, hey, here's your bridal party.
There they
and welcome. And they all come in at one time.
Goodness. Yeah.
And I'm starting to see that more and more towards the end of this year. I'm sure I'll continue to see, like, actually this weekend, I have a wedding, and it's the first time in a few months that I've actually seen where I'm having to introduce the bridal party as couples, like
as pairs, yeah.
Sally escorted by Sam, Gina escorted by Johnny.
Yeah. And honestly, it's awkward being a bridesmaid and walking in. It can be.
It can be, yeah, if you don't know that person, yeah.
And especially if you're like, walking in and you're all hype and they're just like,
yeah, I would hope that you would have that conversation ahead of time with that person.
You try, but that doesn't make them want to be comfortable enough to like bust a move.
Then you should know that like, hey, they ain't comfortable. So either one, you have to be okay doing it yourself, and taking all
Yeah, and I did.
You go, girl. All
I
right.
love that.
So that is what's kind of like what's in for 2024. Now we're going to talk about some like ideas.
Yeah.
Into 2024. And the first one that we're going to talk about is, and I don't know how I feel about it, but having your wedding ceremony on a Friday and your reception the following that next day on Saturday. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it's smart in a couple ways, and it depends on what you're trying to achieve and what your budget is and the overall vibe. So, for instance, in this case, ceremony Friday, party on Saturday would work well if you are wanting it to be a private 50 to 60 person ceremony. You want it to be really just about love and the two of you, and you want it to be intentional, and you want that, and you want to drive it home. And maybe it's a little bit longer ceremony. Maybe it's 30, 45 minutes, not like a mass of any kind, but maybe there's just some intention setting that you're doing during and some specific types of intentions and things that you're setting with each other, whether it's wrapping the hands or warming up the rings, things of that nature. And you know that those people are your core people, and the ceremony is that time to do that, and it just be something really intimate, and you want the focus to just be the two of you.
Yeah.
However, your larger group of people that you know, it would feel less intimate because you know that you're probably 150 people deep, and you only have 50 people that you really want at ceremony, but you know you have to invite 150 because everybody's got friends and family and things like that. So if your guest count is larger and you feel like you're going to lose that, then this instance I think is very smart. And if you have an amazing video crew that can do a 3 to 5, well, maybe even not minutes, but like 45-second to a minute long recap of the day before, the night before, that plays before you're introduced to the party on Saturday and dinner, I think that would really do it justice.
Yeah.
And then people are able to, I don't know. Some people, they're like, yep, I got to sit through the ceremony. Great, wonderful. Some people just aren't for that. Like, they're just like, yep, another wedding ceremony. When do we eat? When do we party? Mm-hmm. So if you know that you have people that are just kind of like ready to eat and party, and those are your people, and they're not that close relationship to you, then I would say do the Friday, Saturday. Yeah. I could see myself doing the Friday, Saturday, because then you've really fulfilled two buckets, and you've put people in the space that they're going to be better in, because some people just don't want to sit through a ceremony.
Okay, so then if you're going to have the ceremony on the same day, just invite certain people to the ceremony and be like, hey, everybody else show up at the reception or a cocktail hour at, let's say the ceremony's at 2:00.
That's a long day, though.
For the couple, sure, but
I think splitting it up really kind of recharges you.
Let's just say you have a couple of hours to just like take in what just happened at the ceremony, and then like, all right, now it's time to go towards the reception for cocktail hour.
As long as you can rally, yeah. And you have to know yourself. True. You have to know you, and you have to know your people. I did one wedding that did not go so well when they did that, because the bride told everybody to come around 6:30. Ceremony was at like 4:30. It was a less than 30-minute ceremony. There was an hour and a half of appetizers, and the amount of people that were there for ceremony was 15. So it was like 15 people kind of sitting around like a house party almost, like chilling, eating appetizers. And then the rest of the guests didn't show up until 6:30. And then by then, the bride told the guests to come at 6:30.
Oh, gotcha.
That everything was at 6:30. So then they show up at 6:30, and everybody's just like, where's the food and where's the thing? Oh, we already did appetizers. We're not doing.
Well, that's in the couple then.
It was such like they
the
really
planning
tried
side was not
to.
Great.
Well, I was their planner, and I really tried to steer them away from doing this, but they had their mindset on kind of doing it. They just didn't do it the right way that I would have suggested. And then by the time the group. The guests got there at 6:30. The bride was so drunk that she barely even came out of the bridal suite. So it just, you got to do it a right way. So I would say it's smart. And And then you can have like, and say your ceremony, you really want a specific space, but it is limited to 50 people. If we're using those same numbers, then you do a small ceremony, 50 people on Friday, and then you do a bigger party on Saturday in a larger space.
Yeah.
So that you're really, especially if you're indecisive on where you want to be and you've got like multiple places that you just love, but the space is a constraint for the guest count, then break it up right. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
You had mentioned something about doing like a 45-second to a minute recap.
Yeah.
Video recap or photo recap. So something on the DJ side that I'm seeing that's starting to come in are video walls.
Oh.
So
yeah, I have seen a few of those.
you can, like some DJs, I don't have this, but some DJs have TVs in their DJ booth, or they have like TVs on
Their
trusses.
front facade.
And they're front the facade or on like trusses, and it's really cool because when the reception hits, you if the photographer video team, if they've been editing, they can put like together like a 30-second or 45-second little video from the ceremony, put it on that video wall, and boom, it's ready. Like you can air it during
the reception.
Yeah, during the reception. So that's something that's new and trending. Another idea is, I mean, if you have an extra $15,000,
Oh, let me just check.
$15,000 to $20,000, which I'm sure it costs for like a fireworks show.
I met a pyro guy a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And and they can do them multiple different ways. It was very, very informational because they don't have to do them to where they're like up in the sky. They can do them where they're like on the ground and they're just like as a backdrop. So I didn't get into pricing, but I have his card and I am going to check into it.
I would imagine it's probably like around
like.
between $10,000 and $20,000.
I mean, he pulls all the permits, and I think it just depends on the level of fireworks that you're trying to go for. But if you get married on New Year's Eve, they're free.
True. However, an alternative to fireworks show.
Cold sparks.
No.
I mean, no.
A firework show.
Oh, a show.
Fireworks show would
Digital?
be a drone show. Cold sparks. Come on, that's.
I have seen drones do that. That is pretty cool. I saw
drone
them
show.
do a drone show. I think.
wedding.
Yeah, I wonder what that would run though.
Probably around the
about the
same.
same?
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's more environmentally sound.
It is.
It is. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check into the pyro guy and see if he can get me some pricing on what a show, like small, medium, and large, what that looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
And what the requirements are for that. But I think fireworks are really something cool and exciting.
Yeah, so drone show could be something, and then we're gonna do one more, and I'll let you take us home on this one.
Okay.
Wedding stylists.
Yay! So being a planner for 16 years, I have really loved the planning side, but I will say I love, like, my passion is the styling of a wedding, starting with the couple, sitting down and going over their vision and really helping them paint the picture, the immersiveness, the feelings, the sentiments, the little details that just set apart their day. That's what I really, really enjoy and love. And it's wedding stylist is really what you are. Do I like to see them walk down the aisle? Yes. Do I want to be the person sending them down the aisle? Not necessarily. I want to be over in the corner just crying, watching them. But I love to see it all come together and do the mood boards and do the coloring. And I'm the girl who does, crazy napkin folds and make sure everything is just so on a table of decor. Everything down to, the shoes and the bouquet. I just love doing the whole style. So I think wedding stylists are something that a lot of people don't realize exist. So just like you have a stylist for a fashion show or for a photo shoot, they're putting together all the different creative things that are really going to make the job of photo, video, and everyone else easier to really take the couple's ideas home. So if that's not something that you're great at or that you want to even deal with, And honestly, I pride myself on being super resourceful. So if there's something you see and you're on like, okay, this is the budget for it, I have always been kind of crossing that edge of being a little bit more creative and coming up with resources. Like I used to do orchid walls. Like I would hang orchids with jewels behind a lot of my couples for their backdrops and fly the orchids in from Hawaii and string them and do all that. And I know that's a florist job, but the styling and coming up with the ideas, if that's not something that you're great at, but you really, really love seeing it, then hire somebody like me that can do the wedding styling for you and kind of take you over your edge a little and help you see things like mustard
There you go.
and
I like
fuchsia
mustard.
together that you probably wouldn't have thought of before. And I think that's what makes my styling a little different too when I've been working with weddings, is that I have a background in fashion. So I started with colors and textures and things of that nature before I even got into like planning and styling weddings. So hire a stylist if you're really going for like that, statement wedding of the year and you're putting a lot of time and effort and your budget accounts for really great video and you want to go cinematic and you want to do that kind of vibe. Having a wedding stylist and then having a coordinator to execute the logistics of timing throughout the day is really the route to go. And they're going to find you some really cool, unique things that you're not going to find just kind of doing it on your own. So
There you go.
we make people build shit that they've never built before,
That's
that
right.
they never thought of before. And so it just really can really set everything apart from your traditional weddings.
So the goal for 2024 is to take your wedding to the next level.
Yes, with Brandy,
Give us a call.
wedding stylist.
Brandy Harlan, non-retired wedding planner
And stylist, yeah.
and stylist.
All the things.
And then take your entertainment to the next level.
That's right.
Because 2024 is TLS Entertainment's 10-year anniversary.
Whoop, whoop.
So excited.
Yay!
We're going to be throwing a 10-year anniversary party at the Lakewood Ranch Golf and Country Club.
Which I'm going to
90s
help style.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 90s versus 2000s theme. So think
Yeah.
like jock jams, that type of thing. And I got to figure out how to get like a jumpsuit with just like TLS all over it. Custom.
Oh, I know. Tweets.
No, they don't do jumpsuits.
They could make you something.
He does
He can
suits.
sew anything.
No, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I may have. I got some resources. See, I'm that person.
Okay.
I got you, boo.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. This is the
Yay!
Scoop Weddings
Happy
Unveiled.
New Year.
Happy 2023.
Yeah.
It's been a great 2023. This is going to be the last podcast of 2023.
Yeah, it is.
And the next time we see y'all will be in 2024.
Yep. With all some really great, amazing new things for the new year.
Yes, we've got some great things, some amazing frienders and vendors and wedding professionals that will be coming on. So we're really excited. But for that, that's going to do it for us. Peace out 2023. And Brandy, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, me too.
And I'll see you next year.
Peace and chicken grease.
Holla.